Whoa. That's cold. That's cold. That's cold. That's cold. That's cold.
All right, what's up, everybody, and welcome to a bonus episode of Whoa, That's Cold. And this is a joint episode for AP World and AP US History because the stuff that I'm talking about is really important for both. Now, today I want to talk about a fitting subject, which is World War II on the Eastern Front. Now, whenever we talk about the Eastern Front, that is the war between the Soviets and the Nazis. And if that sounds like a little bit of a nightmare, it sounds about right, okay? So in World War II, I know we're skipping ahead a little bit here, but because the weather is what it is, I wanted to talk about it. In World War II, you've got on one side Germany and the Axis powers. They've got with them, among others, Japan and Italy. On the other side, you've got the Allies. You've got the US, you've got Britain, you've got France, or what's left of them by this point, and then you've got Russia. And you might be saying, wait, Russia on the side of the US? Well, that is because whenever World War II first breaks out, Russia and Germany come to an agreement that they're not going to invade each other. Okay, Hitler, after seeing a little bit of weakness from the Russians in a fight with Poland, promptly breaks that. Hitler, you're going to see his agreements are made to be broken for that guy. So Germany invades the Soviet Union. They invade Russia. Okay, and when they do, it goes great at first. Hitler famously said, all you have to do is kick down the door and the whole rotten structure will come crumbling down. Because the Soviet Union, I've told you guys before, Russia always looks better getting off the bus than they do in the real fighting. They're massively huge, but as far as fighting, it takes them a little while to get going. So what happens is that they work their way into Russia, but eventually the major Russian asset comes that nobody has ever really been able to figure out, not even Napoleon 130 years before this, and that is what the Russians call general winter. Whenever it turns to winter in Russia, you've got problems. Hitler was so confident that his side was going to win that he didn't even pack winter clothes. And what's going to happen is some of the most brutal warfare in the history of mankind, and that's saying a lot, and I'm not exaggerating. So World War II on the Eastern Front is going to be brutal, cold, snowy fighting, and 27 million Russians are going to die. To put that into perspective, I mean, that's probably about 30 times, more than 30 times the amount of Americans who die in World War II. But the reason why this is so relevant is because not only do that many Soviets die, not only did that many Russians die, 7 out of every 8 German soldiers that dies in Russia. And when this war is over, Joseph Stalin is going to say, hey, you know all of that stuff that we took and made communist in World War II? We ain't giving it back. He's going to say, yeah, we'll have some elections, I promise, but they ain't having no elections, because in Joseph Stalin's mind, that territory that they took was paid for in blood, and in Russian blood, he feels that the Allies would not have won the war had it not been for the Russians. So what you get after the war on the Eastern Front, the brutal war really between bad guy and bad guy, the Soviets versus the Nazis, that terrible, personal, up close, brutal war, what you get is the stage being set for the Cold War, in which Britain hands the baton off to the US and basically says, hey, you are the power that needs to take care of the world now. And the US is the last defense against Soviet communism, as it is emboldened by its victories in World War II, its territorial expansion in World War II. And so the fighting on the Eastern Front, which really looked a lot like this, is going to be the thing that sets the scene for the Cold War from about 1945 to about 1991. And to that I say, that's cold.
Whoa. That's cold. That's cold. That's cold. That's cold.